All right, and we are recording. So this is for all those people out there. Julia, you're one of them. All right, we're gonna start in child's pose tonight. So Mary, make sure you have a couple of blocks. Might want those a little bit later on in the practice. But take a position of child's pose that kind of calls to you tonight. You may want the block, right? Put it underneath your belly if that feels good, or on your head, or not on your head, but let your head rest on it. And maybe the legs are open wide, maybe they're together. But wherever you find yourself, just try to settle in right here. Letting the body get heavy. Maybe even wiggle the hips slightly from side to side. And settling into the breath. And just maybe thinking and knowing that this is exactly where you are supposed to be. And just let that sink in. And hopefully become a very strong present moment. Starting to deepen the awareness to the breath. Filling up. Exhaling. Returning to that pattern over and over again. Filling up. Softening the face, softening the root of the tongue, the jaw. Feeling a sense of heaviness, right? Moving through the body. Drawing the belly slightly in and up, feeling lengthening happening along the back side, along the spine. And slowly, as you're ready, we're going to make our way up into a table. And then, because it is an evening class, let's just go ahead and tuck those toes and make our way all the way up into our first downward facing dog. And we'll just stay here for a little bit. And I invite you to come up really high on the tippy toes, and then let the heels settle a few times. And then maybe even bending one knee, swaying the hip, bending the other. Settling into this mild inversion. Letting the head fall between the arms. Sitting bones reaching towards the sky. Feeling the sense that the shoulder blades are moving toward the waistband of the pants. So it's this opening, this expansion through the collarbones. That chest is reaching forward. Belly is lifting. And starting to feel this energy moving into the body as we breathe. And then on the next breath, go ahead and bring it forward, finding a plank. Nice, strong plank here. If you had to move your hands or your feet to wiggle into a good plank, just notice that and keep them pressed there to push back again into downward facing dog. On your next inhalation, let's go ahead and draw it forward again, finding plank. Let your gaze be out at the floor in front of you. Press out through the ankles, out through those heels and back. And then think about rotating those inner thighs together. Again, lifting that belly, feeling strong and steady right here. And then exhale, press it back into downward facing dog. Let's try and match a little bit of breath to movement in this flow. So inhaling fully, finding our fullest version of plank, and exhaling, pressing back downward facing dog. Inhale, take it to plank. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and bring the knees to the floor. Finding a nice tabletop here. And we're going to flip the wrists. So we're just going to take those wrists and rotate them. Maybe you can do both at the same time. Maybe you just have to do one then the other. But just turn, pressing into those, the palms are up, right? So we're just sort of pressing that palm or the back of the hand down. Getting into that wrist a little bit. And then we're simply going to keep the palm down, but rotate the fingers. So it's an external rotation of the hands. And so the palms are still down, but the fingertips are pointing towards the knees. And again, so we can see the back side of our arms, right? The elbow creases are pointing out towards the top of the mat. And just hold here for another. If you can't do this with both hands, again, just try to do it with one hand and then the other. Last breath here. Let's go ahead and turn those arms forward again. Let the hips move towards the heels. And then this time in child's pose, go ahead and maybe make some circles with those wrists. So whether you're just sort of making a fist and rotating the wrists in one direction then the other out in front of you, or you're sort of scooping with the hands, right? You're just sort of doing this palm to back of the hand, to palm in the other direction, right? Just sort of releasing that tension right here. You'll definitely be up on the elbows a little bit, which is giving some love to those wrists. And then as you're ready, go ahead and replace the hands back down, tuck the toes under, and again, let's find our downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. And then on your next inhalation, find plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, flow to plank. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One more, inhale to plank. And exhale, downward dog. Full deep breath in. Open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Come down onto the knees. And again, we're finding ourselves in a table. Maybe you want to tuck the toes. We're going to extend the right hand out. So it's parallel to the floor, right at shoulder height. And just lift the belly, press down through that left hand. You just feel how much strength it requires just to hold the arm right up here. Take another breath. And then we're going to just take that arm underneath the body, releasing that right arm and the right temple to the floor, and finding our way into thread the needle here. And we're not really worried about doing anything fancy. We're just sort of pressing that arm, pressing the temple down. Maybe you want to explore reaching that left arm away from your face. But that's it. You just hold, gazing up with the eyeballs. Mild twist. And then slowly bringing that left hand back if you reached it out. Let's go ahead and press back up. We're going to extend that arm one more time. Bring the thumb directly into the fingers, right? So we've got, none of the fingers are sort of out in space. We're not lost in space. And then release that left hand, that right hand. Moving to the left side, let that left arm come out, shoulder height. Reach and extend through the fingers as you lift the belly, right? So we're energizing. Press down in the shins, press down through the toes. And then as you're ready, go ahead and scoop that left arm underneath the body, letting that arm release to the floor and the temple. And again, as we begin this little twist here, maybe that right arm reaches for the top of the mat. So we're just extending right through that right side body. We're feeling a little bit more of a lengthening happening in the right side. as the arm extends and reaches forward. And then slowly let that right hand come back towards the face. Press into that right hand and draw that left arm out again. Again, parallel to the floor, reach through the fingers, gaze is forward. And then exhale, go ahead and release that left hand down, yeah? Tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, we find our plank. Exhale, press it back. 2 more, feel the flow. Notice the breath, right? That breath leading the body. Being fully present in this moment. Noticing every part of the body turning on, moving through this gentle flow here. 1 more, let's hold our downward dog and just breathe. So as we're in that dog, can you reach those sitting bones up? Let those heels grow heavy. And then we're gonna find a twist here in our down dog. So walk your feet in slightly, and then bring your fingers to the edge of the mat. So our pinky fingers are really kind of touching the edges of the mat, widening our arm space, but narrowing through the legs. This is going to give us an opportunity to help us as we twist. So we're just going to bend into that right knee, yeah? As we bend into that right knee, let that right heel come off the floor. Lift the left hand and take it around the calf of that right leg. So from here, we're starting our twist. Now begin to straighten that right leg as much as you can. Begin to stretch that left arm straight and then look under the right arm. So we're easing our way into this twist. Softening the heels to the floor as much as we can, lifting through the belly, reaching those sits bones up, press, press, press. And then slowly let's return it back. Take a full deep breath in and exhale, let it go. On your next breath, bend into that left knee. Reach that right hand across the body towards that, maybe behind that knee or down by the calf. And then slowly begin to straighten the leg. Reaching with that arm, looking underneath that left hand. Press. And then coming back to center, good. Let's walk those feet back slightly. Inhale, find your plank. This should feel really nice. Exhale, down dog. 1 more. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog. Look forward. And now we're gonna walk our way to the top of the mat, finding a standing forward fold. In our Uttanasana. Hang over here. Let that chin move towards the chest. Maybe move into those shoulders a little bit. Even deep bend into the knees, right? If that feels good for you. Just shaking it out, letting everything go. Noticing all those places where you can soften. And then as you're ready, finding that stillness. Take a full deep breath in, maybe lift that belly, and then exhale, draw the chest towards the knees. Straightening the knees as much as you feel comfortable. And then bend into the knees, inhale, rise all the way to stand, arms up and over the head. Full deep breath in here, exhale. Let's bring the palms to heart center in our mountain pose, Tadasana. So finding that equal standing on the feet, yeah? Lengthen the tailbone. Really feel how you can draw those sits bones down. Move the chin slightly back in space. Lift through the elbows. And then maybe take your prayer, your Anjali Mudra, and turn your fingertips toward your sternum. So we're forcing that lift of the elbows. Feel how that helps in moving the shoulder blades. Chest is lifted, belly is lifted, feeling strong here. Hold and breathe. And then coming back through center. Let's go ahead and bring the hands onto the hips. We're gonna shift the weight into the right leg. And we're gonna come up onto the ball of the left foot. From here, we're gonna draw that belly in and lift that left leg close to the chest, right? So higher than hip height and flex the foot. So we're moving into a balance challenge, right? We have to find our equals, our steadiness on our standing leg. Take that left hand into that left hip crease, and then let the right hand come to the outside of that left knee. So from here, we're gonna take a twist to the left. We're gonna keep our hands right where they are, and we're just gonna see if we can't twist our chest to the left as we draw a little bit of energy with that right leg to the right, right? It's not really moving, we're just using a little bit of pressure with that hand to sort of help us stay steady and lifted. Draw that left shoulder blade back. If you fall out, that's okay. Just come back in. And then coming back through center, whoop, there I go. Release the hand, release the leg. Give it a minute to shake it out. Maybe a little bit of rocking back and forth, heel to toe. Might feel good. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. So bringing the hands onto the hips, yeah? Go ahead and pull the weight into that left leg. Come up onto the ball of the right foot. And as you draw that belly in, lift that right leg with the foot flexed. So we're wrapping those inner thighs together, right? We're feeling that strength of the thighs moving in. Right hand to that right hip crease. And then the left hand comes across the left leg, or the right leg. Lift and breathe. Lift the chest. And then exhale, slowly begin to turn to the right. Again, that right shoulder moves back, the chest twists. We're keeping that leg nice and straight and center. Dropping into that hip, breathing, lengthening that tailbone. One more breath. We'll bring it back to center, hands on the hips, and then release the right foot. Good job. All right. On our inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Go ahead and bring the hands alongside the feet. Step it back to downward dog in our Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, let's find a plank. Exhale, press it back. One more time. Inhale, find your plank. And then exhale, press it back. You got it. Good. And again, looking forward, let's come up onto the tippy toes and make our way back to the top of the mat. Finding a nice standing forward fold. This time we're going to inhale, lift halfway. So let those hands come onto the shins or the thighs. Draw the shoulders back. Reach that crown of the head forward. Right? So belly's lifting. Everything is nice and strong. And then exhale, release. Again, inhale, let's lift halfway. And exhale, release. We're going to bend the knees, place the hands alongside the feet, and step it again to downward dog. Inhale, find your plank. Exhale, press it back. This time, inhale into plank, and let's find a vinyasa. Knees to the floor. Exhale, chest and chin between the hands. On your next inhalation, draw the body forward. Press the feet into the floor. Lift the kneecaps. Inhale. Chest lifts. Baby cobra. Exhale. Forehead releases to the floor. Tuck the toes. Press it back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. 5 full breaths here. So we're really digging deep into this downward dog tonight. Giving yourself an opportunity to really investigate what's happening in our body in this all over body tonic. Downward dog is really supposed to be an amazing resting pose. If we just allow ourselves to be present in the moment of this pose. Feeling how all the back body's opening up, right, as we breathe. All right, so let's go ahead and bring all of our weight into the left leg, and we're going to send the right leg, toes pointing down. wrapping that right thigh towards the left in our three-legged dog. We're going to come into cheetah, so we're going to draw the chin into the chest. The knee's going to come towards the chin. We're going to come up onto the toes. Press down through the hands and feel how the shoulder blades move apart. Inhale, reach it back, three-legged dog. Pull it in, find your cheetah. Feel that strength. One more, take it. And then draw that knee. Now listen carefully. We're going to take that right knee and take it over to the left. Right, so we're crossing over the body. Then we're going to extend those right toes towards the floor, so we're straightening the leg. And we're going to lay down. So we have to move slowly, bending into the elbows. We're going to drop that right hip to the floor, right? Those back toes are lifted. We're going to take our chest, twist it forward. So we're laying on our belly. That right leg is extended underneath us. We're squeezing the thighs together, and maybe you can take your arms out into a T. So take your right cheek to the floor. So you can maybe even look at those right toes. If you'd like a challenge, maybe you can turn your head looking over towards that right hand. This can get very confusing because when we're lying down, we're not sure what leg is left or right, yeah? So the right leg is the one that's reaching forward off of the mat. Your left toes are curled under, and I want you to energetically press out through that heel. All toes are tucked under, or as much as possible. Arms are reaching. Now we have to come out, right? There you go. Now we got it, we got to come out. So bring your hands back close to the body, underneath the shoulders. Draw those elbows into the side body. Press yourself up. And then see if you can't draw that knee back in, and then take it back into downward dog. Woo! Inhale, find table. And then I want you to turn those wrists again. So you're just going to rotate them out. And this should feel really nice before we move on to the other side. Maybe even try to do a cat and cow here. And you'll notice that you won't really even go as far. Just a couple of easy rounds of cat and cow. Good. And then flip those palms back to center. Tuck your toes, and again, reach it back, downward dog. On your next breath, the right heel gets heavy, left leg extends up, three-legged dog. Hold here, feel that belly lift. Press out through the heel of that left foot. Toes are pointed down. You can even check back and look at them. And then coming into cheetah, lift up on the back foot, draw the knee into the chest, round the spine. Press it back, three-legged dog. Find your strength. Right? Don't be like loosey-goosey about it. Really feel your strength, feel your power. This class is really about strengthening. Draw that knee into the chest and then take it to the right. Crossing over the body. Now, go ahead and lengthen the leg. Let the pinky edge side of the foot take you across the body. Begin to slowly melt to the floor. As you get to the floor, let those hands come out, shoulder width, palms facing down. Again, it's a little bit easier with the left cheek to the floor. Perhaps you start here. Maybe you can explore turning the right cheek down. Just adding a little bit more into this spinal twist. Whichever position the head you chose, find a couple more breaths. And then we slowly bring ourselves out, slowly and carefully and mindfully. Hands come up underneath the body. Shoulders back, elbows and press up. Up and lift. Bring that right left knee in and then find downward facing dog. Come onto the knees and find child's pose. Hips to heels. Again, maybe those motions with the wrists here are in order, right? So we're just taking the hands one direction and then the other, or making a fist, right? And just sort of moving them in circles in one direction and then the other. So just take a minute to sort of recenter, regroup here in child's pose. Nice, full deep breath. And then inhale as you're ready, let's find our table. We're gonna tuck our toes and find downward facing dog. Let's find a vinyasa of your choice. Inhale, flow forward into plank. Exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, lifts you to up dog or maybe cobra. And then pulling through that belly, exhaling back into downward facing dog. Find the breath. On the next breath, look forward. And again, make your way to the top of the mat for that standing forward fold. Bring that chin towards the chest. Let the crown of the head melt towards the floor. We're gonna find a mini chair here. So we're gonna start to bend into the knees, sink the hips down, and then lift the arms. It's almost like a skier position, parallel to the floor, right? So we're sitting as low as we can. Bring those thighs and those knees together. And then find your forward fold. Sink into those hips, reach those arms. Little skier pose, little mini chair. And then forward fold. We're gonna do two more, just like that. Sink into the hips, lift the arms, belly lift, shoulders back. And forward fold. Last one, sink low. Lift the arms, lift the chest. And again, go ahead and fold forward with a moan. Yeah, just hang over in your standing forward fold. And then slowly bend into the knees, press out through the feet. Rise all the way to stand, arms up and over the head. Exhale, Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Again, lift the elbows and turn those fingers so the tips of the fingers are sort of pressing into the sternum. Lengthen the back. Draw that chin back in space. The back of the neck is lifted and long. Right, we feel maybe even a couple of inches taller right here. And slowly, let's come back to center. So this next, we're gonna do that same twist that we did before, but we're just gonna add in the arms. So if you have a wall available and you wanna try it against a wall for a little bit more stability, you can always do that, right? Or just, anytime you fall out, just get rid of whatever head trash is going on up there. It's not a big deal. Right, so we're gonna shift the weight into the right leg and come onto the ball of that left foot. We're gonna lift and draw that belly in and up and then let that left leg raise with the foot in flexion. Squeeze those inner thighs together here. And then go ahead and take that right hand to the outside of that left leg. So again, this is familiar, we've been here before. We're gonna add in that twist as we extend that left arm back and as we look over that left shoulder, right? So it's a little bit more of a challenge now to keep ourselves, see I've fallen out, to keep ourselves upright. Keep lifting into that knee, lift the chest, lengthen that lumbar spine. And then as you're ready, bring it back to center. And then go ahead and step that left foot next to the right. Just stand here with the hands alongside the body and close the eyes. Maybe even practice a little visualization before we move to the other side. So we've already experienced it on one side of the body. What's going to happen if maybe we can practice? Can we picture ourselves in our perfect expression of this pose on the other side? And get it into our body right before we even do it. And then opening the eyes, or bring the hands onto the hips. Bring the weight into that left foot. Come up onto the ball of the right and lift the knees. High as is comfortable for you. Again, foot is nice and flexed. Left hand comes to the outside of that right leg. And as we turn to the right, that right arm extends behind us. Right, so both shoulder blades are moving back. We're opening the chest. We're lifting the chest. We're pressing down. We're rooting down through that standing leg. And then slowly, 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 we come back through center. And we go ahead and release that right foot. Again, hands come alongside the body, close the eyes. And just think about what happened. How was the right side versus the left side? How was your mind? What were you thinking upon? Did that little bit of visualization to set you up help? Right? These are tools. These are actual things we can bring into our lives and utilize as well in our yoga class. Yeah, I guess Chuchi's ready to practice yoga with me on the mat right now. So whatever floats your boat, Chuch. All right, if your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them up. And we're gonna inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, take it over the legs, bend the knees, step it back, downward facing dog. Let's move through a vinyasa to clear the slate. Inhale, find that nice strong plank that we've been working on. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, lifts to upward dog or baby cobra. And then exhale, draws you back, downward facing dog. Feel the breath moving in and out of the body. That left foot stays heavy and that right leg reaches back. We're gonna step that right foot between the hands and pop the left foot in. So we're coming into warrior one, and this is where you might want that block out in front of you. So as you rotate that left hip in, inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. So they can be nice and wide, right, if that feels good, or maybe together. Pressing those palms together, drawing those shoulder blades down the back, right? Your arms could be out in front, whatever is calling to you right now in your warrior one, that's where you want to be. Keep drawing that left hip forward, bending into that right knee, pressing forward with that right foot, big breath. Now we're going to take those hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, open the chest, gaze up, finding a little bit of a back bend here. And then we're just going to move into humble warrior. So as we exhale, hinge from the hips, reach those arms back and up, and then let the chest move to the left of that right knee. So our chest is coming straight on down. We're gazing at the floor, we're breathing. We're feeling that length moving from the back of the neck out through the crown of the head. And as we look at the floor, we're going to release our hands onto that block out in front of us. From here, we're going to move into a warrior three. Shift the weight into that right foot and slowly straighten that right leg as the left leg stretches back behind you. Hip height, toes pointed down, just like we were doing in our three-legged dog. Rotate that left hip down. Lift through the belly, reach out through the crown of the head. You can hold here, or you can explore maybe coming onto the fingertips on the block. Maybe those hands come to prayer at heart center. Maybe they even extend out over the head, right? So you might want to just sort of explore through any of those versions of your warrior three. Obviously, bringing the hands away from the floor and out in front is the most challenging. And then slowly bring your hands back, bend into that knee, and step that left foot back. Bring both hands to the floor, step the right foot back to meet the left, and we're back in downward dog. Inhale, find your plank. Take a vinyasa if you like, or flow back to down dog. Just like we started class, a little bit of moving, flowing through plank and down dog. So yogi's choice here. You can do a full vinyasa or just as nice. Inhale and exhale through plank and Adho Mukha Svanasana. Finding our way back into down dog. Right foot stays heavy and left leg reaches back behind. Turn those toes down and then draw that left foot between the hands. Come in with the right foot, toes pointed out, bend into that left knee, and find warrior one on the other side. So again, we're lengthening, we're taking the sits bones down, we're drawing that belly in and up. Our arms are strong and straight, right? Whatever position is good for you tonight. Coming into the breath, coming into that one-pointed focus. And then slowly reach back, interlace the fingers. Open the chest, look up, reach those fingertips towards the heel, towards the mat. And then slowly begin to fold. So we're moving from that pelvis, right? We're folding forward, our chest is lifted. Our arms are reaching back in our humble warrior. Slowly release the hands to the floor, to the block. Shift your weight into that left leg and come onto the full force of that left foot as that right leg reaches back behind you, toes pointing down, right? We're wrapping that thigh inward. Lift the belly, lift the chest. And then again, find your exploration here in your warrior three tonight. So maybe we stay with the hands down on the floor. Maybe we explore prayer. Right? Maybe we even feel brave and we take those arms out. Find the breath. Keep extending long. And then let those hands come back to the floor. Bend into that leg. Reach your right foot back. Hands to the mat. Left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Again, take a vinyasa or just flow. Plank to down dog. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Big breath. Knees come to the floor. And a well-deserved child's pose. Hips to heels. Forehead to the floor. Let it go. Maybe you're wanting to rotate those wrists again. Just stay here in this version of, whatever version of child's pose you picked. Imagining yourself like a little house on a foundation. Right, you're grounding. You're feeling a little bit of heaviness, a little bit of weightedness through the body. And then as you're ready, make your way up and sit on your heels. If that does not feel good to you, take a block, right? Put it between your legs. Try to bring those knees as close together as you can and use that block to sit up on. We're going to do a pranayama exercise. So you want to be comfortable in the legs. And if you're like, I can't do this at all, then sit with your legs crossed in front of you in Sukhasana. So we're going to do a Bhastrika, Bella's breathing, and we're going to add a twist into it, right? So we're going to start just by finding this tall seat. So let those fingers reach for the floor, and then draw the shoulder blades down the back. See how you can lengthen the spine, maybe even close the eyes here, right? Soften the gaze, down the tip of the nose. Soften the mouth, the throat. Soften the shoulders. More breaths, just feeling yourself sitting up. Good. And then from here, we're going to extend the arms up, reach for the ceiling. And then bring, I feel like I'm doing like, you know, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Bring your hands onto your shoulders. So we're going to start moving slowly, and then we're going to speed it up. So we're just going to take a nice full deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And then on the inhalation, twist to the right. Full deep inhalation. Let your exhale twist you all the way to the left as far as your body will go. Inhale all the way through, nice and slow to the right. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. We're going to start speeding it up a little bit. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Now faster. Now we're not really even thinking about it, right? We're just moving with the breath. Quick, quick, quick. In and out. Try to breathe through the nose. Slow it down. And then come back to center. Return the arms alongside the body. Close the eyes. So it's like you have to think about this breath, right, when you first start. But then as it gets quicker and you start moving, it just sort of flows into this really easeful rhythm. So coming into the other side, inhale, arms reach up and over the head. Exhale, draw those hands onto the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. Exhale, right. Inhale, lift. Left. Exhale, right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Nice and slow. Going a little too fast. Slow it down. Really make it mindful to start. Jumped out of the gate here. Now start picking it up. Inhale. Exhale, right. Speeding it up. Listen to the breath. Very energizing. Slow it down. Nice and slow. And then slowly returning to center. Arms float down. Eyes closed. And just notice. And then opening the eyes, we're gonna do some forward folds. So we're actually gonna use the block. We're gonna do Ekapada Paschimottanasana. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna let that right hip settle on the block. You're gonna shift to the right and then draw that left leg forward. And then rearrange yourself, right? So those thighs are pressing together, the knees are pressing together, toes are in flexion up, right? So just wiggle yourself around until you sort of find that right comfortable place to be here. It's a lot easier to do this on the block, right? Some people don't like the block and they can actually bend and just have that leg out to the side. So either way, but let's start with the hands alongside the body and practicing, again, is sitting up nice and tall. The cool thing about this version of forward folding, or Ekapada, means half, Paschimottanasana, is that you can actually get a better feeling of that forward fold and maybe even be able to reach your foot, right? So I'm just gonna lift myself up and bring myself back up onto that so I can kind of explore this with you. So take a deep breath in, sitting up nice and tall, and then exhale, begin to move those arms forward. Keep lifting through the chest. So we're reaching the chest towards those toes. And you may be able to find you can actually take one hand and bring it to the foot. And the other amazing thing about this version is that your shoulder blades actually stay back a lot more than they do in the standard version of Paschimottanasana. So breathing in here, lifting through the chest, soften the gaze, down at your toes. Hold here and breathe. So I love to close my eyes in forward folds just because it gives me a little bit more of an opportunity to really feel into my body. These last two breaths, take the chin and round it into the chest. So you're stretching the back of the neck. And then inhale, make yourself come back upright. Nice. So we're just gonna draw that left foot in and step on it, right? We're gonna take the right arm and take it around that left knee, and then bring that left arm behind as we lift the chest, and then we twist around to the left. Some of you may want to take that left hand and bring it around the body and sort of find that right hip crease. And slowly make your way back to center. Go ahead and unwind yourself. And then we're just gonna switch sides, right? So we're gonna lift ourselves up, move the block onto that left hip, left sits bone, shift, and let that right leg come out in front. So once you find your way onto your comfortable seat, whatever that is, flex the toes, sit up nice and tall. And again, let those fingertips reach out. And then slowly, as you're ready, begin your forward fold. Maybe a hand comes to the foot. Let those last couple of breaths bring the chin into the chest. And then inhale, slowly make your way up. Go ahead and draw that right knee in. And then let's find that twist to the right. Slowly making your way back to center. Good. Shift forward. Go ahead and take that block out from underneath you. And then find your way down onto the seat. And roll down onto your back. And bring the legs out long and the arms extending out over the head. like in those nice, beautiful good morning stretches. And just hold that for a minute, just reaching the arms long, pointing and flexing the toes, maybe even interlacing the fingers above the head. Nice long stretch here. And then on the exhale, let's go ahead and float the arms alongside the body, bend the knees into the chest. And we're going to press down and lift the hips up for a bridge pose. So move, you want to think about moving, right, as we lift, we're lengthening the tailbone, we're imagining the tailbone moving towards the calves. Chest is lifted, arms are pressing down. And then exhaling, releasing. Again, maybe you'd like to try bridge with a block or two. So lifting up, let's take the block underneath the sacrum, or 2 blocks. Shoulder blades coming together on the back, right? Maybe even a slight tilt and lift of the pelvis, and then releasing that low back onto the block, adding a little bit more of a lengthening, pressing out through the toes, drawing the thighs in towards one another, nice and active. So this is a great prep for an inversion. You can stay here, or you can begin to lift the feet into Viparita Karani for 10 breaths. If another inversion like headstand or handstand is calling to you, you can simply just take the knees towards the face, bend the knees, bring the hands onto the low back and lift up into your shoulder stand, or you can come through Halasana plow pose, right? Any inversion that works for you, just try to hold it in stillness for at least those 10 breaths if you can. Enjoying the stillness, the steadiness of the body and of the breath and of the mind. And after that 10th breath, or wherever you're ready to come out, slowly make your way out of the pose. If you're on a block, lift yourself up and release the block out from underneath you. And then let's go ahead and lay all the way down onto the back. Bringing the knees into the chest, go ahead and hug around the shins. Maybe a little rocking side to side on the low back might feel good. We're going to bring the arms out to a T. We're going to let the legs fall over to the left. So once they're here, you may want to explore stretching that right leg long. So the left knee is bent, the right leg is long. Rebending that right knee, bringing both knees back into the chest. Taking that journey over to the right this time. Maybe that left leg goes long. Looking over the left shoulder. Enjoying that twist on the other side. And then as you're ready, bending the knee, coming back through center, and then taking any last movements that you want before Shavasana. So settling in on the floor. Maybe you have a eye pillow that you would like to use, right? Anything that's going to help you. Maybe if it's a blanket, if you're somewhere that's chilly. But just begin to settle in, eyes closed. Take a full deep breath in and exhale, let it go. Soften the eyes. The jaw, tongue. Soften all around the chest, shoulders, and back. belly and the hips. And just rest here. And slowly starting to bring your attention back. Starting by stretching the breath. Full deep inhalations, long exhalations. And finding some movement in fingers and toes. And then even bigger movements, bending the knees and taking the soles of the feet to the floor. And as you're ready, taking your time, maybe rolling to the right side and finding your way back upright to a comfortable seat. Once upright, the eyes closed. Bring the palms together again at heart center. Maybe even turn those fingertips towards the heart. Taking one last deep breath. Exhale, letting it go. Close by saying namaste, which means the light in me sees, recognizes, and honors that light in you. Have a beautiful night. Hope you enjoy this practice, whoever's watching. And I'll see you next time.